All right, we were talking earlier about Mr Lammy's non-apology, and here we are with the Telegraph's. We'll start with this UK story. 90 violent criminals released by mistake from jail. Telegraph had this cartoon, didn't they, where a judge sentences someone to jail and says, to be honest, neither of us know how long you're going to be in prison for. Is it Lammy's fault, Owen?
Well, I mean, look, I'm not
Justice Secretary, Deputy Prime Minister?
Well, the buck has to stop somewhere, doesn't it? And if you've got, the thing is falling apart. If you've got 90 criminals being released, I mean, it's got, obviously, I know, under the Tories, you've got lots being released. I know that's gone up since. But I think it just speaks to a public realm that's falling apart. It's not properly funded. It's the same reason there's potholes in the roads everywhere. Things are falling apart. You need to invest in them properly. But obviously, I think the fact, he is the Justice Secretary. He's not been Justice Secretary for that long, fair enough. But the buck has to stop with someone, and it has to stop with the Cabinet Minister who's in charge of the justice system. Yeah,
there are about 20 accidental releases from prison every month. I mean, this is. It almost sounds like comedy, doesn't it?
How, though?
Unfortunately,
exactly.
The reason it's now a story is because of people who should be deported being released, and also now violent and sex offenders. So it's really serious, isn't it?
I mean, the thing is, first of all, listen, I know the prisons are overcrowded, the probation service needs funding, everything. But you cannot keep blaming funding for mistakes like this. We are talking about sex offenders being released into society. And as a woman, I can show you on my phone, I carry one of these around. I'm a 55-year-old woman, and that is like pepper.
What is that?
It was not pepper spray because that's illegal, but this is a spray to spray. Because I'm scared. Yes, it is.
Wow.
My husband bought me one. This is not a joke. So when Lammy, somebody's got to take the blame. What's his title? Home Secretary.
Justice Secretary.
Also
Deputy Prime Minister.
You've got to take responsibility.
Well,
this is people's lives at risk.
Keir Starmer spoke for the first time yesterday since the 2 prisoners were wrongly freed, which is the latest one. He was defending Mr Lammy.
Let me just say how angry and frustrated I am that these mistakes have been made in releasing people. They're intolerable and they shouldn't be made. A lot of it comes from the burden and the strain on the system because of the failures of the last government. But I recognise it's our job to step up and to fix this. I'm absolutely clear that he's setting out the facts to the best of his knowledge, and that's the right thing for him to do. But whatever the checks, it's intolerable. So we have to make sure that whatever changes are needed are made.
He didn't look angry enough, probably, but also he is at a Green Climate Summit, so it's sort of the wrong place to be talking about this issue. I'll just show you, by the way, one of the people who was released wrongly was not a foreign criminal. It's this guy called Billy Smith, who's a fraudster, who got 4 years. He managed, he's got good teeth as well. He went into jail. I want to believe the story that says when he went in, he told them, hang on, there's a mistake here. I had a suspended sentence, and they let him out on the day he was jailed. But I don't know whether that was his. But anyway, so he then saw his face on the news, said, I'm trying to get back in. And he's having a quiet fag there, but at the moment, they won't let him back in. So...
It's a mockery. It's a mockery.
He literally can't get back into prison.
It is a mess, but look, we've got...
You can't keep blaming the last government, though.
No,
every time...
At what point can they stop blaming...
Yeah.
They have to stop. Because I think at the 2-year point of an administration, you can't blame the last government anymore.
No, look, they were in power for 14 years, and they were the worst government in democratic history as far as I'm concerned, and they did massacre funding for public services. There is a consequence. I'm sorry, you get what you pay for.
Yeah, but what they say is that Brown completely destroyed the economy.
We had a financial crash. But we're not.
So they then say, OK, we can't spend any money. We've got no money. Right? We're now back 15 years.
Obviously, I think we should get people who can afford to be taxed.
Right.
Who are huge,
like the banks and stuff.
People who are wealthier than ever. People are doing very well at the top. I think we can ask them to pay more. But at the end of the day, we've got 100,000 people in prison.
But what's that got to do with competence? So you are a prison warden. You've got your prisoners. You know who you are. How are you allowing people to go out of their job? They're not being trained properly.
I get what you're saying, but we've got 100,000 prisoners. We've got more prisoners in any of the European country other than Turkey and Russia, which are not democracies.
Right. So,
we don't have enough. We don't have enough people working in the justice system.
We'll get more people in then.
One of the issues arising from this is the government wants more money, and it's going to then. It looks like it's going to break its election promise, which is going to cause all kinds of other problems. Rachel Reeves in The Times she said to the OBR, the watchdog, we're going to put taxes up, right?
considering a 2p rise in income tax and a 2p cut in national insurance, which she rose last time, and because she's got to feel this burden. I mean, listen, you're breaking your promises. This trust in this government has completely gone. A 2p increase, so if you're earning £30,000, at 20%, it's now going to go up to 22%. If you're earning £30,000, that's £349 annually.
Well, she's trying to then cut national insurance to give you the
but then
money.
why did you rise it in the
because
first
the answer is
place?
it will affect certain groups of people, and you'll love this: landlords and pensioners.
Pensioners, people who've worked so hard.
You want to annoy the pensioners again? So what's really interesting about this situation in Labour is that they had two people going for the deputy leadership because Angela Rayner resigned. One of them was very loyal, Bridget Phillipson, didn't get it. The one who did get it is called Lucy Powell. Starmer had just sacked her, right? So she stood up and said, we can't break our manifesto.
Exactly.
Have a listen to this. Oh, have you got the clip? Oh, we haven't got it. Okay.
don't know what
she
they're
was
doing.
on. Sorry, I'm so sorry. I thought we had a clip. She was on the radio. Owen, you've got this story in The Guardian.
Yeah, well, she's right. It's ridiculous. You can't break a manifesto commitment like that. At the time, some of us, said, including on this show, I said that Labour would come to power and say there was a big £20 billion black hole and that they were going to have to do cuts and all the rest of it. And the media did not properly scrutinise that at the time. Now, if you go, they were stupid. I said at the time that they were putting themselves against a wall by ruling out all these tax rises, that it was completely stupid because, they didn't...
Lucy Powell in the blue coat, by the way, just saying.
Doing that, and they thought they were being so clever by doing that because they thought, electorally speaking, that would blunt a tax on them.
Yeah, well,
but it's
there's a price, right?
Of course, there's a price.
Lose power.
But the problem is, in a democracy, is if politicians say things they do not then do, they weaken people's faith in democracy. People are going to be furious, and what they should be doing, as as I keep saying, but is wealth taxes. They should be increasing income tax on people at the top.
We need to call this programme wealth taxes because that's all we ever talk about.
But what is wealth? What is wealth?
Every day.
Define wealth to me.
Okay, I'll tell you. It's 10 million.
Because everybody...
10 million.
Everybody... £10 million. £10
million.
Okay. 10 million about what? In assets?
Including your house.
Right.
And then at that point, then you have the Neil Kinnock thing, which is you say every penny over 10 million, you've got to pay 2% on. Right? The only problem with that, Owen, is you will have to go through their front door and have a look at their paintings and their jewellery.
Everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
And when they decide, OK, we're going to take our money and we're going to put it into vintage wine and they put it in a cellar, you're going to have to go down into the cellar and look at it.
There was a wealth tax commission a few years ago, and it was partly set up by accountants who specialise in looking for loopholes, which is why it was so effective.
Yeah. Well, they're not doing very well at the moment, are they?
No, well, that commission was really good because it actually came up with a way of taking that kind of thing into account.
Because you can't actually...
Accountants people
are going to leave the country. It's not going to be an investable country, and we need an economic growth.
Do you know who's leaving the country? Do you know who's leaving the country at the moment? Doctors. They're going to Australia because they get paid better and it's sunnier. We're losing people at the moment we need because we're not paying them properly.
Okay.
We need to raise taxes on someone. It shouldn't be middle-income people. It should be people who can afford it.
OK, you've got to make sure I don't make any mistakes because it's Harriet's last day and I just said we're going to watch Lucy Powell and it was my mistake. I forgot. It was my fault because I forgot. She was speaking on...
Harriet's always a pro.
What was the name of the guy whose show she was on? It's Matt Chorley. Yeah. So because she went on the radio and said we shouldn't raise taxes.
Well, she's right.
But she's the deputy leader. I mean, this is now fascinating.
But she's not cabinet minister.
Oh, come on, that's a detail. You can't name the cabinet. No one can.
There's going to be civil war in that Labour Party.
Well, let's see. But I think if you promise not to raise taxes, you win an election on that promise, and then you raise them. We probably don't disagree with each other.
There's going to be fury.
You're going to be in. It doesn't work. This is not how politics works.